My name is Tiffany Johnson. After being in childcare for many years and having my own successful business, I wanted to show you what it takes to be top tier. So today we're here to talk about qualities of a good director. Of course, I have a co-host today, Latoya Williams.
Hello. Yes. My name is Latoya Williams. I'm a graduate from Columbia College with the BA and a graduate from Midlands Tech with the Associates. I love my job at Success by Steps Early Learning Academy. I have been in early child care and education for 17 years.
All righty. Well, this topic today is more, I'm not going to say you are in the field or you have the position now that you deal directly hands-on with the directors. So knowing the qualities of a director is really what this is actually your job, you know, to be able to do, to know like what qualities we need and what director should go where. So what do you feel like one of like the few top qualities of a director you feel like a director needs?
Communication.
Oh,
I mean, that is the top thing for me. If a director does not know how to converse with parents or communicate with their teachers, your whole ship is about to sink. Because you don't know if a problem occurs in the classroom and you need to address the teacher, get that side, the parent, and talk to. You have to learn, read your parents and know how to come to them and communicate with them. Or something happens, you have to leave the building, you have your assistant director, you need to communicate. Well, Miss Susie has to leave at 5:00 or Miss Jane needs to break. You have to learn to communicate to run an effective ship.
And another thing, what I always say is having effective communication.
Right.
Because you can communicate all day, but everybody interprets things differently.
Oh, right.
So if I am saying, hey, Jane need to go to break at 2:00. And you are a type of person that's super like me. That's how I am. I always say, don't tell me nothing.
Right.
Write it down, send me a note, put it on the email. Because if I am in the middle of doing what I'm doing and you're talking to me, if it's important, I'm not even gonna remember you said it. So because that's how I work. So you not only do you have to communicate, but knowing your people to be able to effectively communicate. Because if you know the person need to break Ms. Jan, you know that they got horrible minds like mine, then you know you might need to say, hey, I am going to leave you a list of things that needs to be done so you can get it done. Because that is how they move. That's how they operate. Or if you know someone that you can write a list for, but they're going to lose it by the time you got the dough. But they're good at retaining information, then that's the person that you can talk to, but you can't give nothing to. So that is how you can have effective communication when you're a director, because everybody is different. And I think that's one thing that we face a lot with directors is that they think that their style of communication works for everybody.
It does not.
It doesn't. Because, I'll break them down in a minute. Okay, so you told her this, or you just told her. So you didn't give her an example,
right?
Or you didn't write it down. You didn't show her. You didn't hold her hand. So for me, like, yeah, you told her, but
that doesn't work for everybody.
That don't work for everybody. So you definitely have to be able to communicate. So what's another top quality that you feel like a director should have?
Being in the classroom themselves, have been being, and that knocks me to the heart because I've been in a predicament where I was a teacher and my director never had been in the classroom. And to me, you have to know what a teacher is going through. You have to have been in those shoes. And that's with every walk in life. You can't minister to somebody about getting your car repoed if you ain't never had your car repoed before. So to me, a director can't be effective if they have not learned their craft, studied their craft, and acted in their craft. You just can't.
Because you'll start making decisions based on what you think. And not what you know.
I had a director told me that playing in the garden, running around doing sack races, we would do all kind of experiments in the garden, was not gross motor. And you can only get gross motor from climbing on the playground equipment. That comes from lack of knowledge.
And clearly education.
Education.
Because you ain't taking not near ECD class. That's just a bare minimum of, of knowing the development of children and how they're able to do certain things. That's why I like the curriculum learn through play. So if they're learning, they're playing, they're still learning, that doesn't mean that they're not doing if they're not, doesn't mean that they're doing fine motor, gross motor skills. That doesn't mean that.
That does not.
So knowing, so they definitely have to be fluent
in what is going on.
Yeah, and if they're not, they're gonna make bad decisions. Yeah,
this is not just a job.
Yeah,
this is your profession, so you have to learn from it.
And these, for me, the qualities are important because if you don't have someone there that knows the culture of your and the mission of your company and does not know the rules and regulations of the state, and don't have a little bit of background to the educational piece of it. Because again, like me, I just went to go speak at this event last past weekend, and I told I don't have no degree. Mm-mm. I don't, and I ain't ashamed to tell nobody.
But I push you.
Even though you pushed me to go back to school all day. But that doesn't mean that does not discredit what I know. That does not mean it discredit experience. Mm-hmm. Because how many times we have hired a teacher that had the degree and we was like,
what? Why?
She should have rethought that thing. Yes. So, just having, like you said, the knowledge and how to do things will make you be, an effective teacher. Not teacher, but director. Mm-hmm. And also, like, being able to scope out the center to say, hey, when my morale is low in the center, what do I need to do? So for me, having a good personality is, because, I'm goofy as I'll get out. And I get serious with you quick, but I love having fun. So just being, because I don't think having a director that is completely all about the books all the time is what you need, because the environment will be stale.
Yes. And then your teachers don't want to come to work.
Because they're like, oh my God,
I got to go in here right here. And I know she's going to be like this. No sense of,
breathe.
I love it here.
Yeah, like it's okay. Like it's all right. So having a good personality also allow the parents to be more comfortable because they feel like you can be relatable, you can adapt to whatever they going through. Even though even if you take, hey, you got a dog, or yep, I got a dog, or you got this type of car, I do too, or you got 2 girls and 1 boy, I do too. Just something. Just finding the one thing that you can. I don't care, even if it's something that's not related to education. You like the same football team or the same basketball team. Just something that's relatable. But if you don't have a director that has a good personality, they won't know nothing about their family.
Because you can't connect.
You cannot connect.
You have to make that connection.
And not say you have to be all nosy to know how many baby daddies you got.
Right. And carrying on.
Right. And just be extra with it. No, but just having something that we can relate to. Because, hey, it's football season. Your team playing, I see they lost Sunday. Just having something to make them feel comfortable. So guess what? When it's an issue in the center, you don't have to worry about your parents always going to DSS.
Right.
Always calling the state agency on you, because they know, hey, I can go to her and because she makes me feel comfortable. I know that she will receive the information I'm giving to her and she will do something about it.
Right.
But if the parents don't feel like they have a director that has the personality to get it done, then guess what? They're going to go all over your head.
All the time. They're going to have DSS on speed dial.
Or calling one of us.
Right.
They say, hey, this happened at such and such. I'm like, oh, you didn't speak to the director about it? She nasty. Or, I can't approach her. Or every time I go in, it's, she always seems like she got an attitude. Like, we definitely don't need that. But I can say one thing when it comes out to having a company is that which we don't like to talk about it, but when do we know when it's time to make that switch? When it's time to transition him or her out of the facility? When do you know it's like, listen, I love you, but what you're doing here is not working? Like, when do you know it's just not working? And the teacher's not receptive. The center has not grown. the parents, still haven't made that connection, when you feel like it's time to say, okay, we need to either find her another position or it's time for her to just transition out of the company?
When your childcare facility is not reflecting your mission statement. Mm-hmm. And you seeing it falling by the wayside, and you see that director not trying to grow to make your child care facility reflect your mission, then yeah, it's time to go. Yeah. Especially if you're not approachable enough. If I come to you, Tiffany, I heard you was kind of rough with that parent. And she's nasty to me first. Yeah, it's time to go. Because you're not reflecting what we stand for at all.
Because what I always tell you, and that's even when we have meetings with the staff and the directors, you got to be teachable, trainable, and coachable. So if I can't teach you nothing, if I can't coach you through nothing, and if I can't train you through this thing,
that's all.
I can't do nothing else for you. So if every time we come and say, hey, let's look at these numbers. Okay, tell me what you have done to increase these numbers. We came in and we see that your directors are just, your teachers are just down. What have you done to build them morale? And your response is, well, they come in here all the time with attitude. I try to speak to them, they don't speak to me. Okay, baby, let's bring it. Let's bring it on back. Like, I need you to say, hey, I have done this, and this. I see that it's not working. Can you give me some suggestions? That's telling me that you're coachable.
Yes. Yep.
You don't have the answer yet, but you're willing to learn.
And you're trying to be the best captain on this boat.
Right.
So that your crew can do whatever it needs to be done for us to run it smooth.
Right. And the same thing with a parent. We asked them direct about a parent. They snapping. Well, she nasty. I spoke to her yesterday. She ain't speak to me, so I ain't speak to her today. Ma'am.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to take a deep breath and understand that your position says center director. So it is your job to set the tone for this building when you come in. Same thing when I go in and I visit the centers and I go into the classroom. The first thing I say is, hey, party people. And the kids they know it's me because they know that
Tiffany.
They know it's me because that's the thing that I always say, because I want to set the tone. When they come in, I want them to see not just, this big CEO coming in. So, Lord, we got to sit down and cross our legs.
Don't breathe
hard. Right. I want the kids and also the staff members to say, oh, that's just Tiffany. You're not, of course, no disrespect me now or anyone that comes in, but just knowing that you don't have to be all uptight. Hey, party people. What y'all got going on? Y'all having a good time? It was nice seeing you guys today. Hey, do you need anything? Like, that's you coming in and you setting the tone because you have the personality to be able to do that. Because if you don't, like I said, you can do all the work by paper. Oh, you got great distance, visits. You have all your files. You can do all that. But if you don't have the personality to go with it, it's either we're going to have to put somebody there that has a personality or we're going to have to put you in a position where all you do is file paperwork all day because we know it's going to be right.
And the next step, if none of that happens,
then this company is not for you. But it's okay to transition directors out. Or even to give them another position if your company is big enough. It's okay because we've done that. Yep. We have demoted some, promoted some, moved some directors around or certain positions around to get them to say, hey, listen, I think you have good qualities, but not for this particular title. For that particular not just yet. Because they have to communicate. They have to have a good personality. And this thing for me is one of the things is honesty. Now, I can't stand when I ask you a question and you just tell me a fib in my face when I know the answer. Because most of the time I already know the answer if I'm asking.
Investigation.
I am a little investigator. Yeah. Most of the time I already know the answer. But also I feel like because of our mission and what we have shown how we have shown up in the company, the director should know, hey, listen, I got your back, right? Because we worked for other companies before and we had directors stealing money, backing out charges, taking tuition money home, taking groceries home. Good. Yeah, using the company credit card. We've had that. We've seen that. Before. So it's like if you can be honest with me, and not saying that you have to tell me that your car about to get reported if you don't want to. But you can be honest with me and say, hey, I'm having a hard time. Is there any way that, I don't know, you can help me get a loan, or you can loan me just whatever? Because every company is different, because everybody don't work the way that we work, because we just want to see everybody grow no matter what position you hold, even down to the children and the parents. But just being honest about where you are, and don't allow you to sit in a situation and be like, you know what? I'm having a hard time, so I'm going to back out 3 charges this week, and I'm going to take home $525.
Because now you're going to jail.
You're going there because I'm definitely going to press charges on you. Or, you know what, I'm having a hard time, or I'm just going to take the groceries out take some groceries home and not tell anyone, like we don't have 18 cameras.
Right.
Or I'm going, even, you don't even have to be about stealing, or even just saying, hey, you call them and say, hey, did you complete this report? And they say, oh yeah, I completed it. And you go to the center the next day and they never touched it.
It's not done. Just be honest. Life happens in a center.
Yeah.
I didn't get to it.
I will.
Yeah, I will.
But not today, because I was short-handed. I was short-staffed 2 teachers. Hey, I had DSS come in today. I had a child that was all over the place that I had to help calm down. I had tourists today. Like, it's okay. So we don't expect for you to be, just a robot and be perfect, because none of us are perfect. I drop the ball sometimes. Right. And we don't expect for you to do that, but you being honest about where you are. Even if my biggest thing too is, if I have teach you, trained you, and coached you through a situation, and my last thing I always ask you, do you got it?
Do you have it?
Do you have it? Are you sure? Because when I take my hands off of you,
that's the next step.
That's it. That's all.
Especially if you don't pick up the phone and be like, Tiffany, oh, wait a minute, can you review? And you just keep going, spiraling, knowing that you don't understand. Yeah, that's on you.
That's definitely on you. So you have to be aware of where you are, to be honest with whoever your supervisor is, or whoever, wherever your support is. You say, hey, I'm having a hard time collecting tuition. I'm having a hard time with with this particular teacher because she's coming in late every day. I'm having a hard time with sending this newsletter in once a month because I really don't know what I need to put on it. But just being dishonest is not, it ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel good to admit that you've done something wrong. Like, we had the incident with our registration fees. And I was so proud of this director, because typically she'll try to fix it on her own. And she just said, I'm going to take this one, Miss Toya. I said, okay, we can rock and roll. I said, approach as many parents as you can. If parents are that upset, send them to me, because I got your back. But she was a basket case. Because she knows what we expect of them.
Right.
But I'm glad she's at a point now that she's comfortable to say, Toya, I dropped the ball. Instead of trying to fix it, because sometimes when we fix it, we mess it up. We mess it up.
So I think that, like I said, effective communication. What was the second one we talked about?
Being able to relate and being in the classroom. And have done
being
this
in the classroom. And also just being honest, I think an organization. They got to be organized, because I do not like.
Oh, I'm gonna just take a moment.
I cannot function with an office that I can't even see the desk. That is one thing I can't do. So being organized is another. I'm gonna say, for me right now, is probably the top 4 things that directors the qualities the directors should have. So we won't have to transition them out.
Out the back
or
door.
try to figure out what we're gonna do with you. Because they have to have those qualities so they won't get transitioned out.
Yeah.
But once you have trained them, coached them, through all of those things, and try to teach them everything that you know, and it's still not working, for me, that is when it's time to go. Because every time I come to you with an issue or something we can do better, you have an excuse. Okay, that means that you have reached your ceiling, because everyone has a ceiling, and we have to figure out what their ceiling is. So if I'm telling you something, giving me how you feel or what you think, and I'm telling you what it is, and it's always something, and it's not a solution, it's always a problem or more excuses, then for me, yeah, that you have reached your ceiling, even, and I need you to do more, and you haven't. So let's figure this out. So anyway, I really appreciate you coming along and talking about, because like I said, this is something that you do every day, all day. You work with directors every day, all day. So I know you was definitely perfect, to have this conversation, because you definitely do your thing, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I learned from the best.
I do try to teach you everything I know. Yep, and even as I'm learning, I, try to, show you and say, hey, if this is the situation, because childcare is different. So no matter how long you've been in childcare, you learn something every day. So I don't know everything. And no one in childcare will tell you that you know everything, because every situation is going to be different. Every situation is going to be different, and the outcome can be different. So I can't tell you what I did when somebody came into the building because their son broke their arm and this is what's going to happen. I don't know. But what I can do is give you all of these things, and let's see, can we make the best of it? So, like I said, I appreciate you for coming through again and talking about this, because you're the woman for the job. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Top Tier Childcare Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you have any questions, you can email us at info@thetoptier.org. Remember, quality service is not what you put into it. It's what the customer gets out of it. See you next time.